Right, here we are today at the mighty Southfield Reza, and I were on in the woods last week on peg 7, and this is the third round, by the way. I didn't fish the first one, so I got to count all 5, and we're having a 4 last week. I'm really out of it really to win it, but if I win for 4 sections I might still get it money, and that's the idea basically. But realistically I'm just going to try and win it on the day. And I've drawn a good peg. Well, I've drawn a good peg as a fishery. Now everybody knows that this is an unpredictable place. But last week on my video you saw that I came and saw Pete Kitwood, who was reigning champion of the Spring League, and he was on peg 1, on this peg, the reigning champion. And guess what? He dry netted. The week before I think it had £60. Peg 2 the week before won it with £97, Mick Axon, and that dry netted. And peg 3, 4 and 5 I think they were dry netting with less than half an hour to go, and they all had one fish. That's how unpredictable it is. And then us on the other end we got like 2 and 3 fish each. I'm a bit lucky with size as I normally am. 2 for 7, there was 7, 2, 2, and Alan had 3 for 7, someone else and beat me, so it's been reminding me all week. But look at this. This is the West Lake peg 1, absolute flyer when they're in here. And I won't made up when I drew it actually, because I'm trying to win the match on the day, and this is the peg. If they're here, it's just, we can see, just look how much room you've got. But they're not always here, they don't always feed. But you put your tattle on it every single match. Even if I don't get a bite, I'm not going to grumble, believe it or not. So, straightforward today. It's a bit different this peg because you've got that much room. People tell you, sorry, just stepping into water, people tell you where they're going to chuck, and they say, oh, chuck over there. And I can remember drawing, I've only drawn it once before, it was a long time ago, and Dennis had been on it a few weeks before, and he says, when that gets on that peg, make sure that gets round tree and chuck that way to peg 2. And I went, why would you do that? He says, to stop him having an end peg on peg 2. And I went, well, why would I do all that when I've got all that room? I'm not out come to try and stop, I've come to try and win match. Honestly, when he told me where he chucked, I couldn't believe it. Anyway, I didn't chuck there, so basically I'm going to fish 2 lines, but because I've got that much room, I can fish them separately. So where that tower is there, can you see the tower? That tower, that's my line. I'm going to go 50 there. And then there's a bird box just there, can you see it? Where is it? Somewhere there, there it is, look there. There. That's going to be my 36 metre line. So I'm going to go 36 metres there, and I'm going to go 50 towards that big tower there. And straight forward. Waiting for its focus, sorry about that, I don't know what's gone off there. Hey up. Come on back. Come on. There, what's happened there? We've lost it. Yeah, what's happened there? Oh, are we back? No, we're not. What's happened here? Oh, thank you. Oh, sorry about that. So anyway, so there you go. Look, that's you behind me. That is the Aaron Calder, which you know about from last week. And that there's open up there is a new junction. That's the start of the new junction. And that's the start of the, or the end of it I should say, I'm not sure it's start or end of it, but that's just up there is 500 peg, and you can see there's a special lad there. They must catch some carp there because I see them quite regular. I've never heard of carp or pike, I don't know, but I think it'd be carp if he's fishing there. And I think it's the same kid that was there week before. I don't think they've been here for a week, but I'm sure that's a boat as well, so he's probably got there by boat, because I don't know how you get there, I'll be honest with you. But that's the new junction, and the Aaron Calder. So this system, I mean, you can imagine how much fishing we've got around here. It's quite staggering, really, isn't it? You know, I mean, we've got 200 commercial fisheries and 50 mile, but fish just up there. Look, can you see that fish just up there? So I might have to chuck it in canal today to get a bite. But I'm happy with this. I mean, you've got to be, haven't you? So there's my ground bait. Look, got it all mixed up. Yeah, look, all mixed up. Got my worms in my tubs, and they've been in 2 or 3 weeks now. Red worms in that one, and dendrobenas in that one. They're actually a great piece of kit. Got my radio for 2 o'clock when the Mighty Whites kick off. 3 points. I went other night, brilliant result, and fantastic atmosphere as it always at the home of football. And now then, one of the problems you have on this peg is the flow comes in and out. Sometimes it really pours in, and I'm going to put it that way, my rod, to start with because it's tree, but I'm a bit worried that it'll catch the flow, so I might have to turn it round, but I'll worry about that when I'm fishing. At the moment you can see that it's stood, but it does flow in, and it flows in quite hard, and sometimes you get a terrific tow on it, so we'll see. But bait's exactly the same, look, worms, maggots, casters, straightforward. It's traditional fishing, got the main thing, and 2 50 and 1 for 36, and we'll see what happens. And I'm right looking forward to it. I think I'll get some pulls today. I know they didn't catch last week, but I think we'll get a few this week, because if you remember last week, all that were dry. I think it were down here somewhere, so there's another foot of water and it's back to its normal level, whereas last week it was really low, and that made a massive difference. So I'll let you know how I go on, but peg one, I think, like I said, I think I'll get a few pulls, and I'm looking forward to it. Have a great day. Right, best thing we can do is not talk about football. Crikey, talk about football, Jesus Christ, what the hell's gone on today? But anyway, let's talk about fishing. I've got 14 bream, 3 skimmers, so 14 will be 40, so I don't know, 40 something pound, 45 pound perhaps, something like that, because some, you know, like 4 pounders. And interesting match really, because I fished there in front of you was my post, there in front of me somewhere, there 50 metres, and I fished there at 36, and I've not had a bite at 36, but to be fair, I've only had a couple of chucks, because fish were obviously out. David next peg to me kept trying it and he didn't catch one. And I've just caught at 50 metres after an hour and a quarter, not a sign, not one sign, and all of a sudden it's gone in and I've got one, and I've had 6 in 7 chucks, and then it went slack, and then I got a couple more, and then I listened to football and we're really depressed, and it's gone round with 50 minutes, so I've had 5 at last 40 minutes, and had a big line, the last cast I wouldn't have had to pull in, so I'd probably gone up. It's black out there now, so I think a 40 odd pound. Well, what I've heard, that won't be far off. I don't think it's fished brilliantly. Dave next peg's got 4, and peg 3 I know has got 12 with some skimmers, including his skimmers, so might have half a chance, but we'll wait and see. But just caught on ground bait, double red worm. Just sat there until I got a bite. But that's second hour, it would daft, my tip was like that, ding, 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 like that. Round it went, and it's had a nice day, to be fair, lots of fun, apart from football. So I'll see what we've got, but I've got 14 bream, 3 skimmers, I think I'll have 40 odd pound, and so hopefully that'll get me a section win and maybe even a match win, but we'll wait and see, I'll let you know. But off to the palace we will go. I don't know. Well, just got back and had a good result. I won't match with £52 with £52 then, 14 and 3 skimmers. Wow, some big fish in there now. So I think Tony Peel had £43 second, and then there were 34, I think, the 30. So there's a few more fish at Woods, a couple of 20s. So there's a few more fish at Woods. But a good peg that, I mean, that peg one, when they're there, it's hard to beat. You've got that much room. And there were a few fish there too. They went on there last week when Kit were on it and Parko were on too. Crikey. If Kit can't catch them, it's time to pack in. So they were obviously on there, and there were a few there this week. But strange match, because I've had an hour and 15 and never had a sign, never had a liner, and nobody else had. And I thought, oh, crikey, here we go. And then Dave at next peg got one, and him on peg 3 shouted up, he just netted one, and I looked round, my tips round, and I've got one. And then for the next hour, I was getting liners and pulls, and I probably had 6 or 7 really quick into 7 chucks, all bream. And at 50 metres this, I put some stuff in at 36, but this were at 50 metres. And then it went a bit quiet, so I had a chuck on me, what they call it, like my 36 metre line, never had a sign. But Dave next peg had been on it, and he hadn't had a sign, so I quickly come off it. I thought, if I'm going to catch out,
it's going to be on that 50 metre. And I chucked back out and I got one. And then I think I had 9. And then there were 15 minutes to go. And it was a bit upsetting because Palace had just gone 3-1 up. So I was sat there miserable. It's gone round. I've had 5 in last, which Palace did as well. So what it is. So I had 5 more bream and a couple of skimmers. So I finished up with 14 bream, 3 skimmers, with 52.4, which will match. So that's a big Chinese on the way. I've just ordered it. And it's going to be, I'm going to make my sense sick with it. I'm that happy. Well, nearly. If the mighty Whites had got a point or 2, 3 points today, I'd have had a double one. But anyway, they didn't. So, have I caught? Well, a couple of things to tell you about. I caught a double little red worm and a pinky. When it's like that, I like to just sit there and wait for a bite. And I don't catch much. I don't know whether I don't do it enough. I don't catch many on maggot. I seem to catch them all on worm. And I put quite a bit of worm in ground bait. And the ground bait's working well again now. So I've got a nice mix. And I just filled my feeder with ground bait and worms and just sat there until I got a pull. And I lost 1 skimmer, didn't lose a bream. So I've had a good, I've had a decent match really. I can't grumble. But a couple of things to tell you about. I use that new rod, that 12-foot all round, which is lovely for that style of fishing. But you've got to have a look at that braid. That braid is awesome. Sinks really quick. If you're looking for a new braid, just make sure that you have a look at our Sublime braid. That is worth looking at. It sinks really well, really quick. Most braids float really bad. This one doesn't. It sinks really quick. So have a look at that. And now I've had a good day. I can't grumble fishing-wise. I've had a great day. You can only win match. But that's a good peg. When they're in there, it's hard to beat it because you've seen video. You've seen how much room we've got. And so we'll when they're there, it's just easy fishing, to be fair. You sit there and get a bite and wind one in. I know it sounds, but that's what it is. So, although I'm out at league, I probably 3 to go. If I win 3 sections, I might just sneak in with 4 wins and a 4th. But I think that few ounce last week's going to cost me because I really needed a win last week or a second at worst, and I didn't. So, not to worry. So, I've a good start. I've had a win. I'm happy with my ground bait. I'm happy with what I put in it. But this place is really weird. You know, the other day when I fished, right, it's hard to weigh up. Like I had 9 fish and lost to people who had 6. Well, today there's been at least 2 or 3 really good fishermen who catch loads of fish on there, been like battered either side for no reason. It's weird. It is the strangest place you'll ever fish. You think it's bream fishing. Trust me, it's not just bream fishing. It's the weirdest place. And I've come into the conclusion, just turn up, we're set up, we're mix, and just go in with it. Sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. Today, it's worked. I'm really happy. So I'm going to wait for my Chinese to come. I'm going to make my sense sick with it and have a great night.